The Ghanaian public bought into it, as against what the MPP offered. And so for someone to now suggest to us that the term oral, the phrase Operation Recover or Loot is in bad light, that's what the Ghanaian people subscribe to. In fact, some people voted for the NDC and the President Mahama because they think that there was so much loot in the last regime, and they want some level of accountability to see what we can be able to retrieve.
Okay, the law didn't say that if you've seen any acts of corruption, go and report it to a committee.
You're taking the law from the face value of it, and that's unfair.
No, but no, you see, okay, so we do interpretation of law.
Yes.
Okay, when the law on its face doesn't give room for any interpretation, you don't interpret it. This is very clear. We only interpret it when you have when there are difficulties in understanding what the maker of the law said. This one, on the face of it, does not admit of any interpretation. Section 3. So the law has clearly given you the people you should report to. If you've seen any acts of corruption, go to a member of parliament. You could go to a Kujetsa Blakwa. You could go to any of the MPs in the NDC if you so wish. If you've seen that an act of corruption has happened, go to Narcotics Control Board, go to a chief, go to your family.
So before you go to all these persons that have been listed,
yes,
how do you see the impropriety? How do you see
you
or
have seen
identify
it. No, but that's the
impropriety?
point.
And how do you do the identification of
No,
impropriety
you-
or establish an impropriety before you go and report to these bodies that have been listed?
So maybe you should ask the lawmaker. But the point is that the law says that you have seen it.
Yes, so the body is gathering evidence of what they have seen.
No, that is not this is a responsibility of an individual, a Ghanaian citizen who has seen a corrupt act being done. And the law is saying that when you see such a thing, go to any of these people.
Chito Secondary School, bus. The tomatoes they are using for the students. I saw the bus, I was going somewhere. The big bus came, the school transport bus came to offload the goods here for this driver, taxi driver, to load. This is happening in Soko de Bokame right away. And this one, you'll be blaming government that government is not good, while our own people are killing our own people. Close the booth. I want to take your car number. I will report this to the police right now. Right now. Chito Senior High School. The bus just left here now. And look at the thing they transport here. The food items that they transport here. They came to offload this in the bush here, make the driver park on the street, waiting for them to offload the goods. And now, and this, they will start to say Mahama is not good. Mahama is not good. Look at this. This is tin tomatoes. This is tin tomatoes. But the government bought all this thing. You see the wickedness of people? While the people, the students are there without food. Master, what you did, is it good? And me, I want to here. And you the police is now in the jail. Sukuvi want to villasio, net you the secondary school. Open to do me fever correct beme. Basaba kojo 50 basaba dagba trojo yina. I just saw this right now and I know there's something wrong. The school bus, the U-turn bus from Chito High School, Senior High. The driver came to offload these goods here, contracted this taxi driver. This is the car number. This is the car number. Okay? This is the car number. Tin tomatoes. So, my brother will be going to the police station. Yes, we have to fight for Ghana. First, my name is Apostle Lekacho. When you go to social media, you see me there. I will not support any evil. And they're beginning to blame government, that government is this, government is that. While our own people are very wicked and evil. So I'll be calling the police to come for you.
We were called here yesterday by the municipal director of EC, and they gave us 8 o'clock. And the directive was that when we are coming, we should make sure we bring only 2 agents, because they are only going to allow 2 agents into the collation room. We obliged and we're here. But to our surprise, when we got here and we entered in there, we saw that MPP were already there with over 30 people. So we ask ourselves, why? Is it a setup from the EC? Because you told us only 2 people will be allowed in there. So we went, and to our surprise, we saw a lot of people there. So we also have to withdraw and come outside, and also have to come and call our people to also come in. So we organized, and our people also came in. So when they came, we also have to go back. So the crash you saw in there was between the NDC supporters and the MPP supporters. In any case, why would EC give them access to the collation room?
I hope you're not justifying this very wrong.
No,
act.
but the point, these are questions you should be asking J Mensa, because you gave us clear directive that you are taking only 2 agents. Why should we come in there and see over 20 to 30 MPP people?
The Electoral Commission gave power to the returning officer to declare, and that's what he did. So if there is any question the EC is supposed to answer that, because you gave power to someone. So why now are you saying something else? That is what we don't understand. Going forward now, right now we are waiting for what the Electoral Commission will tell us, because they asked us to be here at 8, and I think it's almost 11 now. We haven't heard anything so far, so we are waiting for them. But there's one thing I want to ask the MPP and their candidates, that is Ablikmanot for them. Is it a family thing that it must be MPP all the time? You've been on for the past 28 years. So the people are tired. We are tired. We want a new person to come. And we have voted for Irabna Oben. Why is it they don't understand? So they should tell us. If it's a family thing, they should tell us so that we know it's for them. Then we can go back and say that we know Ablikmanot is for MPP family. Then we know it is for them. But so far as that, they haven't let us understand. And we, the electorate, vote for Irabna Oben, we will not agree.
Free and in tomb. If it says sister since 1996, and this prepare your ballot near Lusunia 7 times. Ya jai mamo. Ya nim Yantia where the free good time with den say, oh, yai, we're saying in my. And so Rabban Winnie, welcome and neck on your bar 7 times. Ya court 4 times. Our lesson by quiet, ya to Obama Parliament 2017. Ya hu ya MP so okasa kra prim puntu aben wa Abekumanov. It's Abekumanov first one ma brain PP for. And e dia amato abane dia ma Erabna. Ya nim ne ntia epinyama we ekoso.
I don't declare Rabna 2 times. Oh, Yaba almost getting to 3 months. It's just Ramu. Buy a bar, no yet to continue bar, Nemo. Police, only the 2 bar. The catcher of president, Mama said, police for only rights. So we do about our election center. So we are Bama Mukoboku. Yaku to Kwaoboku. And you said to Amba, yeah, you know Makuto because Ombesa Musisi, Ombesa Musisi, Rabna, Obi, and the president, Mr. President, but I salute. Catch your Yomu and say, Electoral Commission said, the Rabna will you declared 2 times. There's no way I ever tell you. You are teaching me a Santa.
Odo nya dada Erabran Obi nyong fiale menya be ye na parliament menya la kojo ko ba we kwe free ba ye maga wogota meyo gbeshi agbe mi lafia anya la court kaka gbeshi agbo ba shi do agara fia ba yo collate na mi vako ka enwo agba amisi bobo gbona ena mi la duji va dore du ya magba gbeshi agbe Erabran Obi ye win ala banya nyong da Ablikmanov a dɔwɔn xoxoxo ekpena ɖe ehiãtɔwo ŋu ame yiwo ɖeke mele wo si woƒe viwo ekpena ɖe wo ŋu menye nke dzɔ wogbe o nyaviwo school enye vinye first born kpenye Darlington ewo school tia 5 years ya ala aƒe me mekpɔ dɔnɔ wɔ NPP ta tami ɖe kuku nyɔnua va ɖe wodo yɔ bɔ ɖe dziwo no gazette na mi.
yenim kuro ne ti company no what you say yenim kuro no e ti company no there was so many ways you be company nim ha nkofo we eje mi do nyankopɔ sa mo makomede e be makomade mo seji e makomede e yesu e be makomade mo in so many ways yenim so many ways be ti mama e komaje agie ada oko import ni amani free.
The recent confrontations between small-scale miners and military personnel in Obuasi, which led to the death of 9 miners and several others in critical conditions. The death of 9 miners and several others in critical conditions after sustaining various degrees of injuries is most regrettable. President John Dramani Mahama has already ordered a full-scale investigation into the incident. Following this incident, we in Parliament have noted a desperate attempt by the MPP minority in Parliament to politicize the matter. The MPP falsely claims that there is a so-called upsurge in political violence in the country. They also created a misleading impression that the unfortunate demise of the miners is as a result of political violence. The NDC Majority Caucus in Parliament condemns the desperate attempt by the MPP Minority Caucus to politicize the unfortunate development in Obuasi. Instead of sympathizing with the bereaved families and applauding government proactiveness, the NPP minority is dabbling in cheap politics. Ladies and gentlemen, it is obvious that NPP is yet to recover from the shock of its monumental defeat, and as such, they are engaging in cheap politicking. We urge them to come to terms with the resounding defeat that they suffered in the last election and allow the 2-week-old government to steer the affairs of state in line with the mandate of the people of Ghana. Finally, we wish to assure the people of Ghana that pursuant to the directive of His Excellency the President, impartial, timely, and efficient investigation would be carried out in due course in the matter that has just happened at Obuasi. And the NDC does not subscribe to violence. We want to assure the people of Ghana once again that the NDC Majority Caucus stand ready to work with the MPP if they so desire to work with us in ensuring that whatever we do, we will together help the people of Ghana recover from the massive economic shackles that they've left behind. Thank you very much.
Education is the cornerstone of national progress. And to this end, as promised, while strengthening basic education, we will sustain and enhance the free SHS policy so that we gain the benefits that it is intended to bestow. We will address challenges such as overcrowding to ensure quality education at all levels. Our plans also include free tuition for first-year students entering public tertiary institutions, the completion of abandoned e-blocks, and investments to provide equitable learning opportunities nationwide and across the whole education value chain. These initiatives will empower our youth with the skills needed to excel in a rapidly changing world. We shall emphasize technical vocational education and training so that we can produce the skilled manpower that is needed for business and industry. I'm going to set up a planning committee to start working on the National Education Review Conference that I promised. This conference will review our educational system right from the kindergarten through the basic to secondary to tertiary to technical vocational education. and identify what the hindrances to quality education are at each level of our educational system.
What is the difference between the ordinary thief and a political thief? Number one, the ordinary thief steals your money, your bag, your watch, and your jewelry, isn't it? But the political thief steals your future, your career, your education, your health, and your business. Number two, the hilarious part is that the ordinary thief will choose whom to rob. But you are the one who choose the political thief to rob you. Because we choose them. We vote them. We blindly say we are not blind. Who is deceiving who? The ridiculous part of the whole issue is that we will fight to defend and protect our belongings from the ordinary thief. Is it not? But we fight each other to defend and protect the political thief. Is that not what we do? Thugs will be fighting themselves to protect those that are stealing our career, stealing our job, stealing our health, stealing our success. What a shame.
Government is broke, government is broke. But people are spending billions to go inside the government that is broke. Have you ever seen a minister who resigned because government is broke before? Government has no money. Have you ever seen a governor who said, ladies and gentlemen, when I was elected, I thought the government had money. Now I discover government has no money, I resign. Have you ever seen it? Government has no money, but they are bringing money out at election time. Where is that money coming from? So they are lying. What is happening is that there are two types of wicked people in government. Type 1, they eat current money. Any money they find in government, they will eat it. They are wicked about that one. There is type 2. Type 2, they eat current money and future money. They will say, my term will end next year. When I leave, how will I eat money? Let me borrow money now and borrow money of the future and eat it now.
Hello, good morning. Welcome to the Thursday edition of Good Morning Ghana. My name is Audu Moro, and it's always a pleasure coming your way. We thank God for being alive and kicking. We're hale and hearty, and we're always happy to come here and serve you with the best of thought-provoking, intellectually stimulating conversations about what's going on in our country. And once again, my name is Audu Moro. I'll go straight ahead and tell you what the newspapers are reporting this morning. So I'll start with the Daily Graphic newspaper. The Daily Graphic newspaper is reporting that government to provide incentives for agribusinesses to produce raw materials. Trade Minister designates discloses. There's also reduced ministry's portfolio's good. Experts say, but urge caution. No tolerance for arrogance and disrespect, President Mahama tells appointees. Affirmative Action Act requires more resources for full implementation. Minister designates for gender, says. There's also UNDP Ghana's YAI transforms lives through youth-led innovation. The Ghanaian Times. Serve with humility, candor. President Mahama tells new ministers. Commander Sugar Factory will be operationalized. Trade Minister designate. GJA to pursue justice for Latif Idrisu, late Ahmed Swaleh at ICC. And it comes to the picture of Mr. Albert Kwabena Jumfor, who's the GJA president. There's also mother declared wanted for unlawful removal of child. The New Crusading Guide, it says video capturing dollars in EC branded bags fake. MPP slams Mahama for abandoning presidential jet. Police pursue Karen Baba Sam over unlawful child removal, and Gao commends minister nominees for Agric and Fisheries. The Insight. Betrayal of Western Sahara by Kufuor. Why Ghana's last-minute turn away undermines continental solidarity. Biden's legacy in the United States, genocide abroad, economic despair at home. Do not sacrifice 24-hour economy policy for 60 ministers syndrome. Adam GH to President Mahama. And there's an open letter to His Excellency, President John Dramani Mahama. There's also police face accusation of shielding fraudsters in $17,200 theft case as victim allegedly turned suspect and detained severally under questionable circumstances. Daily Post. Mahama swears in to forcing Haruna Idrisu, 4 other ministers. Serve with humility and candor. Mahama to new ministers. National Education Conference in the offing to address challenges. Haruna Idrisu. We have averted looming power outages. Mahama. BNFT. Businesses optimistic about growth. Call for urgent reforms. The politics of integrity, a call for rational thinking in governance. Now Momolate pledges tax waivers to make sanitary pads affordable. Nurturing innovation, nurturing seeds of innovation among the youth. UNDP Ghana's bold initiative is transforming lives through youth-led innovation. Government eyes continental markets in 24-hour economy push. Producer price inflation ends 2024 at 26.1%. All right, so these are the big stories on the front pages of the major newspapers. We'll take a short break. When we come back, I'll let you in on who my guests for the morning are.
Good business means seeing the possibilities and maximizing opportunities. Making sure you have a responsive support system backs your business goals. A partner that gives you a stable platform with reliable connectivity and seamless solutions, and better understands the tools required to take you to the next level. With so many moving parts in running a business, we do our best to provide you with some stability. The only kind of stability you can find with MTN Business Broadband, the fastest and most reliable internet provider in Ghana, making sure you stay ahead and stay connected, because we understand what makes your business tick.
Sign up today on broadband.mtn.com.gh or call or WhatsApp 0244 308 111.
MTN.
Paying for your Showmax is easy. Just choose your preferred payment method from these easy and convenient options. MTN Momo, Visa or MasterCard, Showmax vouchers at DSTV or GoTV sales agents, or use a promo code. Enter your payment details and hit submit. Showmax. Pay easy, stream easy.
Attention all farmers, are you ready to take your crops to the next level? Introducing 3 effective organic composts that will revolutionize your farming practices. ACAP, KCAP and Aerocop brings to you the ultimate solution for your fertilizer needs. Introducing the ACAP Grade A, KCAP Equiafua Jinkwa and the Aerocop with cocoa blends, palm blend and mulch. These are made from locally sourced municipal solid waste, and these are the perfect choice for sustainable farming. Join the organic revolution today. Boost your crop yield, improve soil health, and support sustainable farming practices. Choose ACAP, KCAP, and Aerocop organic compost for a greener and bountiful harvest. For your purchase and more information, call the numbers on your screen. Our products are endorsed by COCOBOD, Planting for Food and Jobs, and the Ministry of Food and Agriculture.
Sometimes the unexpected happens and the hero falls down in his own story. But he needs not stay down for long. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance is your trusted health partner. Whether an individual building a business, with Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern. For the best health insurance solutions for corporate institutions, groups and associations, families and individuals, choose Cosmopolitan Health Insurance from our over 700 accredited health service providers nationwide. Call us on 0302 540 668 or 0501 678 547 for all your health insurance solutions. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern.
Look around. Home also need a makeover. Mine clearly does. So we went to Ashroom and found the Como collection. It had everything we're looking for and more. Merchant furniture for the entire home, designed with you in mind.
Where's Como collection? Dressing up is just a breeze. Always ready with a perfect accessory.
A magic dressing mirror. One look and you're ready to face the world. Or at least the kids.
A bed perfect for young men who want
a table that turns into a treasure chest.
And finally, a sofa with this grand TV unit for family time at home.
Head over to any Ashfoam store now and discover the new Como collection. Ashfoam, feel it, know it.
Ama, Nasemi Jeno Wobin, Enkoye Crow. Ama my boom, Sekuntumra, Akija.
Nasemi, who sent me no passing macra. Ama me pulling me into Pampa. Oh, you right. And you will go. Give us GC mixture and any capsules. I am boom and want some Namokana. A boy and ma and a memina. Nema ba ye obesima. Na bema swa ye bemasima. Ya, we be boy. I'm a giant sour the shelly bottom. No, when you yan and into sesame or you chop one. GC mixture and a castle.
A painful about one more menu for an inquiry when you feel to me.
Welcome to the Alisa brunch, your special Sunday treat. Good food, great and relaxing ambience, and excellent service. Come to your second home every Sunday. The Alisa Sunday Brunch.
Good business means seeing the possibilities and maximizing opportunities. Making sure you have a responsive support system backs your business goals. A partner that gives you a stable platform with reliable connectivity and seamless solutions, and better understands the tools required to take you to the next level. With so many moving parts in running a business, we do our best to provide you with some stability. The only kind of stability you can find with MTN Business Broadband, the fastest and most reliable internet provider in Ghana, making sure you stay ahead and stay connected, because we understand what makes your business tick.
Sign up today on broadband.mtn.com.gh or call or WhatsApp 0244 308 111.
MTN.
Who are you?
Who are you?
Charlie, it'll be you from the future who doesn't sleep on that slice of bready poor mattress anymore. Don some slippers, then follow me.
It is part of the mattress we did it from there.
Yeah?
That be the mattress where the dead go.
Wait, what are you doing? Wow! No damage at all. Not only durable, but also super comfortable. Come on, try it.
Nothing day like ash foam. Enjoy full body support and unparalleled comfort for a restful sleep.
Don't forget your keys.
Get the premium sleep experience with mattresses from Ash Foam. Visit any of our showrooms nationwide or at ashfoam.com.
Store owner at the residence, then you come here in the dark.
The youth in the whole central constituency vandalized the NDC constituency office to demand the inclusion of the IMP in list of ministerial appointees. Theophilus Ajaku, NDC whole central constituency deputy secretary, condemned the act and called on the youth to be patient.
We just get this response that our office has been ransacked by a teeming youth who are dissatisfied about the appointments that they are not giving any appointment for West Central. And I said, no, the appointment is still ongoing. So why should the youth ransack our office? We can't develop this country in this manner. We can never accept this. Appointments have never ended. I am a deputy constituency secretary. I have not gotten an appointment yet. So why should everybody cannot get appointment at the same time? So we are calling on the public, our teaming youth, our supporters to remain calm because the president is the appointing authority.
Former whole central constituency secretary Dr. Stanley Nelvis Glete also condemned the incident, stating that those responsible are not true members of the NDC.
Nobody commands an appointment. Nobody. I think the appointment coming out are in the best interest of the nation. They are in the best interest of the president, and of course, also falls within the general vision that we have. What we sold out to the people. So to come here and do this to your own party office is appalling, it's disgusting, and it's filthy. But as I said earlier, we still trust them, investigative bodies. To track them will be easy. But to come to a party office, and interesting, today is the day they are vetting our MMDCs. All the party store owner at the residence, then you come here in the dark, waiting for the girl to close from the office. You broke in. That is criminal.
The youth in the whole central constituency vandalized the
Order 97-3. And the orders of this House are that when a paper of this nature is laid, a short explanatory statement shall be made by the person presenting a paper when requested by the House or a member upon the presentation. What the chairman of the committee respectfully has done is to lay and ask that we approve. But the substance of it has not been made available to us. So I come under 97.3 requesting that that explanation be given. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
In doing so, I present to you the committee's report. Mr. Speaker, it is 48-page report, and I'll urge the Hansard Department to capture the entire report as having been read. Mr. Speaker, I will state in conclusion that the committee agreed by consensus to unanimously recommend to this House for approval the nomination of Honorable Kesel Atoba Fossen as a minister responsible for finance. Similarly, the committee recommends by consensus or unanimity to the House the approval of Honorable John Abdullahi Jinapo as the minister responsible for energy. Right, Honorable Speaker, the committee further, by consensus and unanimity, recommends to the House for approval the nomination for the position of Attorney General
from His Excellency, page 2 of this 48-page report. The committee, Mr. Speaker, that so-called committee claiming to be going after loot must be cautioned that that committee is unconstitutional and illegal. And I pray that my respected colleague, Dr. Ayeni, after taking office, will review the activities of this illegal, unconstitutional body, bring things to order, and allow the state institutions clothed with the mandate to investigate, to follow due process, investigate, and prosecute if necessary. The way this aura is going, it will not help the cause of our democracy. Today you are in government, tomorrow you will be in opposition. Do unto others as in all situations you wish them do unto you. If MPP side in government makes some mistakes, you know you don't have to continue that path. So leave above board and pursue justice for all Ghanaians. Mr. Speaker, on that note, I shall thank you for indulging me and rest my case and encourage members to support this report, which is by consensus. Thank you so much indeed.
Honorable Member, just indulge me so that we can have this report.
Yes, it's so encouraging. His knowledge of the subject matter is not questionable. He was the Deputy Minister of Finance and he worked to the best of his knowledge. He did so well that we all saw the kinds of things that he did until the NDC then left government in 2016. I became so happy with Honorable Ato Forsen and continued to watch him as we sat on your left side, Mr. Speaker, when he had this issue of being dragged to court. I had more confidence in him when one day I said, "Leader, this issue," he said, "Hajia, don't worry, it shall be well." And I said, "Inshallah, it shall be well." And it has been well. Mr. Speaker, this is the same man who has been nominated in the vetting committee. His responses left no stone unturned. He did so well. I just sat and watched him. And there was nothing I could say or think about than to wish him well. Because I know he has that good knowledge. And I know he will deliver. All we need is for us to work and work well and ensure that he delivers for the good of the people of Ghana.
When President Mills was in power, he had his 3 wise men.
I only started working from this premises yesterday, and so you're among the first visitors to be received, and I want to thank you for your kind congratulations. As you said, during the campaign, we had the opportunity to meet some of you. As it is, without the intercessory prayer, that's here to offer thanks to God for what he has done. And the Bible says that if we use your voices and draw our attention to it, the government I lead is not an intolerant government. And if people speak and criticize us, we're not going to come and harass them and hound them and give them threatening phone calls. And so I believe that the church can speak freely, the media can speak freely, and we will take it as, a positive instrument for correcting whatever they are referring to. And so this reset that we have set ourselves to do is not going to be easy. The economy is in dire straits. As we take office, and I'm going to swear in the first set of ministers today, including the finance minister. But since his nomination and the transition, we are beginning to understand, how critical our current state is in respect of the economy. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Some of the ministries, which will bring the total ministers to 60, as I promised the people of Ghana. This will make this government Ghana's leanest and I believe most efficient government ever in history. I've just sworn you in the first 6 ministers who are responsible for perhaps the most critical sectors of our national life, especially economy and the energy sector. In economy, the people of Ghana are looking up to you, Dr. Forson, to reduce inflation and make life more affordable, reduce the cost of living. They're looking up to you to bring our debt level to bring our national debt to sustainable levels. They're looking to you to stabilize our currency, and they're looking to you to rein in the deficit so that we can achieve macroeconomic stability. To you, the Honorable Minister of Energy, Mr. John Ablai Jinapon, Ghanaians are looking for stable and efficient power supply. They are looking to you to accelerate our upstream and downstream petroleum sectors in order that Ghanaians can reap the benefit of the potential that God has given us. They're also looking to you to manage the energy sector debt and be able to remove it as an albatross around the neck of our economy. To you, Mr. Eric Opoku-Agric, Ghanaians are looking for food security, and they're looking for cheap and affordable food to fill their stomachs. To you, Mr. Govans Abuja, you probably have one of the most difficult jobs. Everybody in Ghana is complaining about bad roads. You have the duty not only to maintain existing roads, but to provide new roads for smooth transportation. And probably one of the most difficult and complex sectors, and that is education. The Honorable Haruna Idrisu is supposed to work for the people of Ghana to ensure quality education and to ensure that we equip our young people with the skills that they need to go into the world of work. And one of your first responsibilities will be to superintend the National Review Conference on Education, to bring stakeholders together to dialogue on how to improve our educational outcomes. Our Attorney General will be required to reform our justice system to make it fair and transparent to all Ghanaians. He will also be responsible for holding people accountable and making sure that the sword of justice goes after people who have misappropriated the resources of Ghanaians. One of the major tasks you would have to undertake is to shepherd the National Constitutional Validation Conference. Noon scheduled maintenance work that was to take place on the West African gas pipe on 3rd January. We have put in short-term measures to ensure that our children have adequate food so that they can go ahead with their learning. These are short-term measures and will help to keep our children in school, even as we strategize on streamlining the supply of food to schools and pay off arrears that are owed to schools, some dating from as far back as 2021. Over the weekend, I announced that a committee of eminent legal and governance experts would lead the process for a comprehensive review of the 1992 Constitution, taking into account the work that was done by previous committees. This will ensure that we refine our Constitution to meet the current exigencies of a system that guarantees equal justice for all and nothing more or nothing less. It is quite clear that so much needs to be done in so short a time, and I assure the people of Ghana that this government will rise to the challenge and will reset our country. As I pointed out during my inaugural speech, Ghanaians have, through their votes, declared their intention to demand the highest standards of governance, and we cannot afford to fail them. This naturally puts a burden of responsibility on us, which we must prove equal to. Ghanaians have shown that the days of tolerance for disrespectful gaslighting by government officials are well and truly over. They will take firm action as they deem fit to punish any administration that takes them for granted. I therefore charge you to serve in humility and candor, always remembering that we serve at the pleasure of the Ghanaian people and that the authority we exercise emanates from them. We must exhibit tolerance for their views and work to meet their aspirations.
All right, welcome back. This is Good Morning on Metro Television. Our guests are now seated. In fact, one of them is seated, and I'll be introducing him, and then we're going to kickstart a conversation right away whilst we wait for the other guest to join us to also express his thoughts and his opinions on the issues we'll be raising. Now, let me start with, so first of all, let me just say that Vincent Ekwase first joined us. He's the MP for Old Tafo and also a former deputy local government decentralization and rural development minister. Honorable, thank you very much for joining us. Good morning. It's a pleasure to have you join us on Good Morning Ghana. Your microphone is off. If you can please switch it on. Yes, good morning.
Thanks for having me.
Vincent.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Thank you. Good to see you too.
I hope you're doing well.
Well, I'm okay. I'm hale and hearty. It's a pretty much good morning for us, so I'm happy to be here.
Right.
Yeah.
You're generally seen as one of the young, up-and-coming shining stars in our body politics, and you have received some accolades. I've seen some people shower praises on you. Essentially, or basically about your first of all about your human relations. It's also about the way you articulate the issues, you know. And oftentimes politicians tend to exhibit this air of arrogance, around them, especially, I'm now an MP, I am so and so and so, but you have kept it very civil, you've kept it very modest, and so on and so forth. Right. And so I can only encourage you, right, and continue to motivate you to be who you are. And I'm sure that the sky will only be the limit. Perhaps wouldn't even be the limit. It will be just the beginning of your beginning towards wherever you want to.
Right.
So it's good to have you join us.
Thank you so much for your kind words.
Right.
Thank you so much for your kind words.
But how are the constituents? How are your people doing?
Well, first and foremost, let me say a very good morning to your cherished viewers and to the good people of Old Tafo constituency.
Right.
The Tafohine and the Pankrono Atefwa, all the opinion leaders, Old Tafo constituency. I say a very good morning to you.
Okay.
I was in a constituency last weekend to attend to some funerals, and thank you, Tall, on the Sunday. I visited about 7 churches on Sunday, just to tell them that I am very grateful for what they've done for me, the confidence that they've reposed in me as a second timer. It means a lot to me.
Okay.
It tells me that when you do well, your people will renew your mandate.
Okay.
It tells me that you need to be able to have proper engagement with your people. This kind of elections, that is the 2024 elections, tells me that going forward, our elections are not going to be the same. You cannot say that you are in a stronghold of a particular political party, and for that matter, you will not work to meet the needs of the people.
Right.
It is clear that in the 2024 general elections, members of parliament, or if you like, certain candidates lost in areas that they were not meant to be losing. Areas where ordinarily, since 1992, particular political parties have been winning, and unfortunately, or if you like, fortunately, at least for the betterment of the political discourse, we had such candidates losing, even though they are strongholds of certain political parties. And so what it has taught me is that you cannot say that you are in a particular stronghold, and for that matter, you won't work to meet the needs of the Ghanaian people. If you work, they will help you. I was telling a friend yesterday that, especially in Ashanti region, gone are the days where you have our old men and our old women telling you, I don't like Rawlings, I hate Rawlings, and for that matter, I will never vote for NDC. Those people are facing out. The young people who are now coming, these Gen Zs and these young people now 30 years, 28 years, 27 years, are thinking differently. It cannot be business as usual. And so I have actually made a statement to my leadership of the party that it cannot be business as usual. If you really want to win an election, you have to start doing things differently. You have to give opportunity to the youth for them to be heard, for them to feel that indeed they are heard. It cannot be that you are telling them that you want them to be heard, but it is not seen that indeed they are being heard. And so
walk the talk.
You have to walk the talk, it cannot be business as usual, as I've already indicated. And so I'm hoping that the leadership of the New Patriotic Party will learn the modern way of the politics, especially in Ashanti region, so that nobody will say that I'm in a stronghold like myself. I can't say that I'm in Otafo. For that matter, I won't work. If you don't work, the people will come after you. The people will vote against you. And for that matter, you need to work. And that is what the 2024 elections have really taught me. You need to really work for your
so work
people.
for the votes.
Yes, you have to work for the votes.
It's not going to come automatically. Okay, that's fine. Let me also say that Ambassador Sampiyale is joining us. He's the president of the NDC Professional Forum. In fact, it was an initiative that he birthed, conceptualized and birthed, and he's credited for that. It's actually his brainchild, let me put it that way. Ambassador Sampiyale, good morning. It's good to see you, Uncle.
Good morning. Good.
It's been a while.
Don't go ahead.
I feel abundant, but I don't have any choice. I have to always forgive my uncle. And one of the things that some people may not know that he is once upon a time was an ambassador to Ghana's ambassador to India, and he did some tremendous job over there. And till today, he's left his footprints in the Republic of India. And so he doesn't often like to talk about it, but me, I'll say it because I know what I'm talking about. Ambassador Sampiale, it's good to have you once again. And, you know,
how are you?
To your son, a younger brother.
But I remember when I was in the university, I mean, when we were growing up,
right,
and when we were doing student politics, he was one of the people that
you
we
look
up to. Yeah,
I see.
So I'm happy to share the same platform with him.
Apparently,
today.
you have a lot of mentees.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't know that it goes beyond the NDC as a political organization.
Yeah.
Anyway,
thank God for a live one.
Right. How's the Professionals Forum, just briefly, how's the forum doing, and how do you intend to incorporate your work into the broader, you know, governance architecture? As we've just seen, of course, there's change of power, your party's in power. Is the Professional Forum going to go to sleep? Or
not
just,
at all. Not
okay.
at all. Just like my nephew was saying, the NDC realized what they are now realizing during the time of Professor Mills.
Okay.
When he decided that for good reasons, let us bring the young people to the fore.
Right.
Now, at that time, many people didn't agree with him. But if we have products like Omane Boama, Purple,
the list goes on and on.
The dividend is there to show. Now, one thing that was lacking was identified by Dr. Kosibochu, the late Dr. Kosibochu, that the NDC was not dotting the I's with the professionals.
Right.
You know, that for many years, every elections, NDC lost in the academia. You know, the universities we lost. So that is the reason why we came about with the NDC Professionals Forum. So this year you could see that lecturers, professors were all on the street campaigning. And for now, as at now, we have doctors who are branch executives. We call them what they call polling station executives. So this revolution has started a long time ago. I agree with him that these days you cannot take any voter for granted. Because as long as he's holding a phone, if you told him about Rollins, you say, what of Rollins?
Yeah.
You know, so, but for me, it is an indication to the political class that the Ghanaian is becoming more sophisticated than we thought they were.
And more discerning.
Discerning. I mean, who thought that NDC could even win
7 seats
in Ashanti? I mean, it's telling, you know, and it's good that we in the political class will realize that if we don't do well, they would expose us. And somebody have just said that this is the last time or the last chance for democracy in Ghana. And then when he said that, I was a bit scared. I said, why? He said, look at the way the people of Ghana voted.
Mm-hmm.
First, they gave NDC MPP majority in parliament.
Yeah.
Nothing changed much. Then they gave us hanged parliament. Comme ça. Now they say, okay, let us switch to give NDC the majority, and this is the absolute majority.
Overwhelming
majority, which then tells us that Ghanaians have an agenda. So if this one fails, then maybe the Gen Zs will have their own way, you know, of doing things. So I am wishing that this experiment, the last experiment we are having, will not be seen as an NDC agenda, but will be seen as a Ghana agenda for the survival of democracy.
Right.
I think I'm very strong about that.
I see. I think that will be a perfect time for us to look at the story on the front page of today's, in some of the newspapers, but I'll do Daily Graphic. But before I do that, let me say that this segment is being sponsored by MTN. So MTN keeps reminding you that please remind your family and friends and relatives abroad to send you Momo directly from abroad, because what then happens is that it's not just the money you're receiving, but you also get to earn 300 MB for free, that's megabytes for free on your phone. So you can browse and enjoy and you know, watch Good Morning Ghana on your phone, on Facebook, and so on and so forth. Free. It's not, you're not paying a dime. So please do that. It's a quick reminder. So you automatically will get a 300 MB and data to go online and show your friends and family that you are having a good time back home watching Good Morning Ghana, and of course doing some other things. So your Momo, so more love, more data, just Momo it and thank me later. So Honorable and Ambassador, if you look at the front page of today's Daily Graphic, there's a story that says no tolerance for arrogance. It sort of ties in with the conversation we've just broached, the topic we've just broached. And it says President Mahama tells appointees. Now, Kester Abraham Koranche, Jubilee House, is reporting that President John Dramani Mahama has charged his appointees to be humble and accountable in governance, stressing that government serves at the pleasure of the people. We must exhibit tolerance for their views and work to meet their aspirations. That this government will not tolerate arrogance or disrespect for the people who elected us into office, he said. The president gave the charge at the Jubilee House in Accra yesterday when he swore in the first set of 6 ministers for his cabinet who were approved by Parliament last Tuesday. They include Minister of Finance, Dr. Castle Ato Banfor, who is also the Member of Parliament for the Ejumako Enyam Siam in the Central Region, the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Dr. Dominic Akoretenga Ayeni, the MP for Bolgatanga East and in the Upper East Region, and the Minister of Justice. The story continues here. There's also Minister of Energy and Green Transition, John Abdullah Jinapo, MP for Yape Kusau, in the Savannah region. The rest are the Minister of Education, Aaron Idrisu, MP for Tamale South and the Northern region, the Minister of Roads and Highways, Kwame Govazagboja, MP for Adakuli in the Volta region, and the Minister of Food and Agriculture, Eric Opoku, and the MP for Sinafu South in the Ahafo region. The ceremony, which was President Mohammed's first official ceremony at the Jubilee House since he took over office in January 7, began with the introduction of the ministers, after which the President administered the oath of allegiance, the oath of office, and the oath of secrecy to them. President Mahama then presented the instruments of appointment to the 6 ministers, marking the beginning of their tenure in office. The ministers then signed the oath book, which was sealed with the signature of the President. The ceremony was attended by the Vice President, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, senior government officials, including the Chief of Staff, Julius Deborah, the Senior Presidential Advisor on Governance, Dr. Valerie Sawyer, and other dignitaries. The President Mahama urged the ministers to uphold the interests of the republic and promote the well-being of its people. He also emphasized the importance of working together to realize the vision of the government. The president also reiterated his commitment to form a lean government to reduce government expenditure by sticking to his campaign promise of appointing not more than 60 ministers. I have presented the Right Honourable Speaker of Parliament the names of 23 sector ministers, 3 ministers of state, and 16 regional ministers for the approval of Parliament. So far, I have named 42 ministers of state and regional ministers to begin the urgent task of resetting our dear country, Ghana, which has suffered in recent years from severe crisis in many sectors, the president adds. Of course, if you read, the other portion of the story, or the rest of the story, it talks about the specific charges that he's giving these ministers to undertake, which is that their work is clearly cut out for them. Ambassador Sampiale, call in the right direction?
Extremely so.
Okay, why?
See, long time ago, I had a friend
who
was a regional minister. He was driving his car through his constituency and rolled his glasses. Not with anybody. The constituents reported to Rawlings. The following day, he was dismissed. I heard Rawlings echoing the same words as John Mahama is echoing now.
Right.
See, often the trappings of power get into our head as politicians and forget our humility.
Right.
Forget that the day before today, were perhaps not in the Land Cruisers that the state has purchased for us. Forget that the office that we are occupying today is not our inheritance. It's not our body fide, as somebody says. And so, for example, when I went to India, as you were saying, I ordered that all ambassadors who have served in this mission, they should put your pictures there. That's the reason why. Remind me that I am not the first and the last occupant of the seat I'm sitting on now.
I see.
Yes, so when you came today, you saw it.
Yeah.
That every one of them from the beginning, Mr. Ezra, all the way. So I think most politicians forget that yesterday was different. Today is different.
Right.
Yesterday and today makes who you are. I've seen them in their offices. Sometimes when newsmen interview them, big portraits of themselves, in their offices. And I said, my goodness, you are sitting there. Why this big portrait for? It doesn't remind you that you are serving the people. What President John Mahama said is very, very apt. Because of the way some Ghanaians had been treated over the years by us, the political class. We go promising that when you elect me, I would solve your problems for you. I would do this, this, and that. Knowing very, very well that even the car you are going to use in Parliament, you are going to take a loan, and the loan is to be paid. Knowing very, very well that your common fund cannot construct 2 kilometers of road. Knowing very well that national health insurance, you can only do the first registration, but the renewal for all your constituents is waiting. They will make several sweet promises. You sign a contract with the people, social contract. Vote for me, and I'll do this. So the woman, old lady, young man goes to queue, right, fulfilling his part of the bargain to vote for you. Okay? When he does so, he puts his or her trust in you that the things you promised him or her, you are going to deliver. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. Then
you go to sit in your office. Now you have a police guard. You have Land Cruiser. You have a big, nice office. Then the person comes to your constituency, doesn't see you. And if it's that a light age, chases you in Accra. So and when you go to Parliament House, I think as a fool will tell you, you see the constituents there. And sometimes they even go to the offices. That is where our MPs are tested. Some have a nice way of, relating to them. Oh, I hear you. Now I cannot solve all the problems, but as you are going, take this for transport. I'll come to the constituency and see you to deal with the rest. But once you are making that promise also, make sure that when you go, you will do it. Then you come out of your office, your policeman is in front of you, you cock your gun, then, hey, minister is busy. And the constituents who brought us to that office are ruffled. They are left there in the corridor.
And they feel alienated.
They feel pain.
Yeah, and hurt.
But we forget that there is one thing. The government can give us all the privileges, but it cannot give us a thumb. We forget. I have taken this rule for a long time. I've known this for a long time that in government, you can be given everything. You can be given armor cars to protect you. You can be given anything on earth, but you cannot be given a thumb. And the woman that you disrespected, the young man that you disrespected, has the tongue. You have one, he has also got one.
Right.
And it's on this day, 7th December, that you're also going to say that, yes, there's a referendum on my son Asefua. How did he perform? How did he respect me? How did he, as it were, fulfill his promises? And that is where the referendum comes. Before then, we have taken it for granted that, if it's NDC, the voter region, no matter what we do, we'll vote for them. They vote for us. Then you go to Ashanti, like you say, oh, you did Chamin Fruma. Who carries his record forever? He doesn't. He cut it at the hospital and it's gone. Obian knew the politician in Fruma, right? The person is growing with his stamp. When he gets 18, the term gets more solidified. So as the political class, I think all of us, not only to the ministers, but even in the opposition, the way you carry yourself, you think that you are in parliament, talking anyway, doing anything, fighting, look at the people who fought in parliament. Anytime they show those videos, I watch those who fought in parliament and see most of them are no longer in parliament.
Right.
So I entreat our ministers to know that President Mahama has given them the marching orders. Whatever it is that you can do, not to win the elections, but to improve the lot of your fellow Ghanaians, for me, is more important. But if we write our programs, develop our programs, implement our programs, just that, sir, Mahama na ye we my entiebetua bamano. That mentality no longer holds sway, and we as politicians should be mindful. Humility. When I was growing up, my uncle told me 3 things. Be humble. Whatever God gives you or society gives you to keep, be humble about it. Work hard at it and be honest. 3 things that has guided me.
Right.
You have to be honest, you have to be hardworking, and you have to be humble with whatever you do. So if you have this, it's like you marrying a woman. When he's young, he's so beautiful. But there are certain features that will grow, isn't it?
Yes,
so
absolutely.
You have to look at the features that will not grow and love those features. Something like her eyes. So many people, if I'm choosing a woman, I would choose a woman by the eyes. Because that one will not change.
Right.
We have to, the political class have to know that whatever we enjoy is through the queuing of some people. And sometimes they are in the queue, some policemen are beating them. Sometimes people go into queue or go to the polling station and they are killed. Just because you want to become an MP or just because they want to make you a minister. So that's how I want to take President Mahama's advice. It goes both to the NDC and even to the NPP.
Right.
If they learn this humility, it will be very, very good. I am not classically happy about the way some of our politicians, when they go to court and they come and press conferences, as if one knows that, court judgment and decisions are not subject matters of public relations.
Right.
But we traveled through it and as if we were scoring points. So that's what I was saying.
I know, Vincent, I don't know whether it happened, it's the same with you, but usually when you guys are giving this appointment, there's some kind of training that you're giving. You're made to go through some training as public office holders in order for you to appreciate some of these realities. Because I think that every government understands that it's not just the brick and mortar, it's not just the bread and butter issues, but also about your body language, your composure, your disposition, or your human relations as well, so that you don't display arrogance, as I said, you don't disrespect the people, and so on and so forth. You have already started reflecting because your party lost elections in a way that you still say you're struggling to understand what exactly may have happened. And part of the reasons which you say is because you think that, to a very large extent, the party and for that matter, the government perhaps took some group of people for granted. And so you have already been talking to some of your colleagues and you're telling them, look, the days when people feel that they have a certain alienable right to some votes by virtue of where they were born, those days are gradually becoming a thing of the past, and that you have to really work for the votes. If you work for the votes, the guys, they will reward you. What else do you think may really be the cause of the change of the behavior and attitude of public office holders? I mean, some of them, it's unimaginable the kinds of things they do and say, you know. What do you think is the cause? I mean, fortunately, you've been a public office holder yourself. What do you think? Why do you guys change when you're given positions? You don't pick calls anymore. You see people, you just wave at them, and you know you don't even say if you're overly nice towards them now. You don't think you have time to be nice. And then you and I, let's say you and I used to eat wache at Antimony every Saturday. You come down, we'll sit on the same chair, we'll have wache together. Now when you come, you park your car, and the engine is on. You know, remember, I knew you before. And now you're telling me this is the new Vincent. I'm not saying you. I mean, you know, just for the purpose of this conversation. And the engine of the Land Cruiser is actually on because you're not buying fuel. Well, and you don't actually care the kind of optics that you're sending across. Why do you people do that?
Well, I think that largely I will agree with my uncle, Sampi, when he brings out this rendition as to how politicians sometimes are lost in the middle of the sea when they are appointed. I think our democracy is a growing one, and for that matter, how our people, especially voters, see and appreciate certain things are not the same as the Western world. I think that in the Western world, what they look at, it's which leader or which politician can better the life of the people. In Ghana, when we are voting, the perception is that we are signing a social contract with the people so that they can better the lives of the people. Right. Unfortunately, as soon as these people win, many a times, that goal shifts to the point whereby we basically want people who will be humble. Well, you can get people who will be humble, who will not show the kind of arrogance that we are talking about, but may not be able to achieve the basic reason upon which these people were elected.
That's true.
Now,
that's a fact.
So the point is, well, so let's get people who are humble, but we forget about performance. It becomes very problematic. Now, I think there's a certain misunderstanding as to how governance really should be and how people expect these people who are actors of, or if like the agents of proper governance should also behave. Typical example. Last Parliament, that is the 8th Parliament, when MPs started, or if you like, the majority MPs at the time started saying that the finance minister must go and what have you. People felt that because the President of the Republic did not heed to the call of the members of Parliament at the time, it is one way or the other trying to establish a sense of arrogance. But I disagree. The reason why I disagree, and when I'm done, I will tie that in with the LGBTQ stance, so that the Ghanaian people will understand how governance is done. At the time, the President of the Republic of Ghana felt that the stance and the kind of vision that he had with the finance minister did not warrant the finance minister to have been taken out at the time. But of course, the Ghanaian people also felt differently. So that's what I'm saying, that you need to tie in proper governance as to what you really want to achieve and what you think is proper to do at the time. Because you see, when you are signing a social contract with the Ghanaian people, the social contract is that I am believing you and I'm trusting you to make better decisions on my behalf. That can only be assessed after 4 years.
Yes.
And sometimes how you see it, you may not be able to get immediate answers, or you may not be able to get immediate responses to it. That is exactly what happened with respect to the finance minister being asked to step aside. Unfortunately, the president did not see reason to that. But of course, he was tagged as arrogant for not listening to the Ghanaian people because we gave you the power. Around the same time, LGBTQ issues also came up. The people of Ghana, based on our social values, our morals, believe that you do not have to, as it were, approve or even allow or even appear to be approving anything LGBTQ in this country. That is what our social values tells us. And me, as a Catholic, I will not, under any circumstance, allow my space to be used for LGBTQ and its practices. But that is where the thin line between governance and what the social values really is will have to be established. Does our people understand that? And that is why His Excellency the President, in KNUST about 3 or 4 months ago, stood in front of these pastors and told them that I am an Assemblies of God member. And at any point in time when I'm given the opportunity, anything LGBTQ is something that I am never going to countenance. He was very firm and assertive at the time. But when the Ghana Catholic Bishops Conference went to him, you remember that that's kind of assertiveness as to his stance when it comes to LGBTQ had changed.
Right.
You did not find that assertiveness anymore. The reality is that governance is now ongoing. And governance is where you have to take into consideration a lot of factors.
Right.
It was the same position that His Excellency President Akufo-Addo took. And the Ghanaian people did not understand, or if you like, did not agree with him. People tagged him as arrogant because why is it that the bill has been brought to you and you are using a law to, as it were, stop the law coming to your office? But when President Mahama was speaking, he did not say that, oh, please, can you bring the bill to me so that I can quickly sign? He started talking law. He started telling you that the law has been expired or the law is expired with the 8th Parliament and all that. The stance is changing. So if you don't take care, you end up being tagged as arrogant or you end up being tagged as not tolerant because the people who voted for you may not understand why you are taking certain decisions. And trust me, no president of this republic within the short term can quickly come to office and say that I want to go and sign LGBTQ, because all of them knows the difficulties, or if you like, knows the challenges that it may come with. And that's how come you see them trying to run away from it. It's about time that we, the political actors, takes our time to educate our people, especially those who can read. I mean, some of these pastors, most of them are well-educated people. How can they understand that when it comes to governance, it is not merely, or it is not only about moral issues. If some of these education, or if some of these things are not being told the way it is supposed to be told, you end up, as it were, tagging your leaders as arrogant. Because obviously whatever they tell you, it is anticipated or it is believed that they should be able to listen to you without necessarily understanding where you sit. The things that you can see, they cannot see. So that is the thin line between being assertive, being government-oriented as far as performance is concerned, and what people term as arrogant and what people term as not being tolerant. When I was at the Ministry of Education, as a PRO, I remember at the time when you were telling headmasters that issue of PTA should be cancelled, where PTA used to take monies from people and all that. We knew, it is not as if we did not know, we knew that in some schools, the levies that PTA was charging was so critical to the sustenance of the school to the extent that with some of them, without it, it was very difficult for the school to actually stand on its feet.
Right.
But of course, the abuse nature of it had to, as it were, allow the Minister of Education at the time to be very assertive and say, no, I'm not going to allow you to charge any PTA dues. People tag the government as arrogant because in the anticipation, they were expecting the minister and the government to listen that you cannot cancel PTA dues at the time, or you cannot cancel PTA levies at the time. But we knew the abuse of it. We knew how headmasters, we knew how some teachers made it, as it were, regular. It was as if PTA was now something that everybody will have to be paying, whether you like it or not. There were times that students were being sacked from examination room because they were not able to pay PTA dues and what have you. So in such instances, when you are attacked that way, you are labeled as arrogant, but you know that that is how the system will have to be made to work. And so I think that in instances like this, or with some of these issues, it is the lack of understanding on the part of our electorate as to how governance actually work. Governance is not on the platter just like that, where you just have to, as it were, measure in. You have to be humble, you have to be tolerant, because if people understand that yes, whilst you are being humble and you are being tolerant, you need to be assertive to make sure that certain things work. And so that is the thin line that I find.
I get it.
As far as this tolerance and arrogance discussion is concerned.
I get it. Except, I mean, safe to say that you know, when I listen to the examples that you've just given, the impression I get is that there are instances where people interpret stubbornness or to be principled and want to stick to your gun as a case of arrogance.
Right.
To some extent, I get that, which is that people say, well, look, this is what is good, or this is what is better.
Right.
You say, no, this is what I believe is good for you. And so you stick to those principles, and people say you are arrogant instead of saying you're stubborn.
Right.
But don't you think that even when you take a position on a matter, right, the way you explain your reason for sticking to that position is what for me would either demonstrate arrogance or otherwise. Instead of just saying that, well, because I believe in something and I've taken a principled stand on an issue and I don't want to move, despite what the public thinks, people will say I'm arrogant. Do you get it? Because the sense I also get from the analogy you've just given and examples you've just given is that it appears the nomenclature, arrogance and stubbornness or disrespect means different things to different people.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And because we cannot agree on exactly what constitutes arrogance or what the definition or the cultural definition, that's extremely important. So the socio-cultural definition of arrogance and stubbornness and disrespect sometimes tends to create problems for you people. And you use, for instance, the example of the finance minister where he was told to do certain things. He actually didn't believe in those things. And so, you know, some MPs, about 8 to 9 of them came out to say, look, you're giving us problems, move away and let somebody else take over. He won't listen. Even though at some point, with that particular issue, I thought that it wasn't really about the finance minister, it was about his appointor. I mean, if the president wanted him to leave, he would leave. He didn't appoint himself, the president appointed him. So that was my stance at the time when this matter came up. But as Ghanaians, don't we know what our people would generally term as umwadie wasuyeding? We live with them, you know. So I'm not too sure if there's some kind of a misalignment or disagreement with the publics.
No, you
as
see,
to exactly what constitutes arrogance or disrespect.
See, I agree with you. I agree with you. But maybe let me use a scenario to even answer you.
Right.
Sometimes the beneficiaries of the status quo who want to resist change put out some of these theories and make it look as if that you are indeed arrogant.
That's also
because
true.
they're the beneficiaries.
That's also true.
Sometimes the personal interest, and for example, if I am the president of NAT, or if I'm the secretary to NAT, and I am supposed to go, or if you like, run for another election. At the time I'll be thinking about my next election. What are the thinking of the people I am leading?
Yeah.
Especially some of which are beneficiaries of the status quo. So you end up seeing so many theories being put out there, making it look as if that indeed you're arrogant because you've been assertive with a policy to protect the weaker ones in society. And the weaker ones are people who could not get money to be able to pay some of these levies. And for that matter, they are being sacked from school. So you see people putting out some of these theories just to make it look as if you're arrogant. But that's what I'm saying, that it is all about re-understanding how some of these things work. And sometimes you need the media to be able to support in some of this education.
Right.
Because without them, you will not be able to put out how these things will have to be done. In such instances, it becomes very difficult for you to exclude yourself from any tag of an arrogant nature. Because at your conference with your stakeholders, to which you are supposed to make some of these decisions, you've all agreed that based on the information that is coming out, this is the right way to go. But of course, you have the pushback.
Okay.
In such instances, it becomes very difficult. So, I mean, it is
a bit nuanced.
Yes, so it's an issue of how our democracy is being done.
Right.
And when you always go back to the people for re-election, I mean, they will play some of these things back to you.
Okay.
I've had instances, as my uncle was saying, where I'll drive through the constituency and you get a call, somebody will tell, MP,
yes,
not knowing that I'm even sleeping. It was probably my driver who is passing.
And the person takes offense.
And the person takes offense. Because normally I will stop and greet them. But once or twice that the car will pass without me greeting, they will tag you as, hey, they say, yeah.
Obaso.
So Vincent, you know. So I mean, it's a bit problematic. But I think that we should be able to engage our people for them to understand that we are also human beings as they are.
All right. You know, I haven't picked your thoughts, both of you, on the realignment we've just seen. So the president has promised 60 ministers. He's pruned it from, or he's whittled it down from 60 to 23. So far, 42 appointments have come out. 6 of them were approved yesterday. We saw the swearing in. In fact, it was the follow-up, the fallout from the swearing yesterday that we're discussing. I'll just probably pick your thoughts briefly on the realignment of some of the ministries. So we've seen some mergers, we've seen some separations, and we've also seen new ministries being created. I don't know whether you have any quick thoughts to share on that, because I've seen Vincent Asefe's how do you call it, Facebook post, where he says, Minister for Environment, Minister for Green Transition, Minister for Climate Change and Sustainability, Minister for Technology, Minister for Digital Technology. And is there a confusion? He wants to know. Something doesn't add up for him. He still thinks that things could have been tidier than they are now. I'll come back to you on that because he's spoken for a while. Honorable Sampiyali, what are your general thoughts about what you're beginning to see so far, the appointments? And from where you sit, does it look like the president is on course to pruning or to sort of living up to his promise of just appointing 60 ministers? We've already heard him say that there won't be deputy for some of the ministries.
Well, I was a member of the Manifesto Committee for both the 2020 and the 2024. And the thought process that went into this particular item we have tabled was very deep. You know, there are emerging ecosystems. So, for example, climate change is a big one now. You know, climate change is a very, very big one now. Then the environment, and the other one is what? Technology. We have sought to align them in such a way that they would operate seamlessly. So I don't see why my nephew thinks that we are confused. We are not confused at all, you know. And just before I conclude, but I want to give a small reaction before I continue. You see, Vincent, please watch the full tape or the adjoining paragraphs of the president's address, discussions with the clergy. As a lawyer, you know that words take their meaning from the environment.
Yeah.
And you will know that the president was not, as it were, shifting his position at all, as the MPP now appear to be saying that the president is changing. The president made two emphatic statements, even for the statement, that particular statement. He said, look, the former parliament has passed. And why the bill was not signed, we all know. So I'm not going to go into it. The people paid the MPP for doing that, as he himself said. But a bill, a law, expires with a particular parliament.
Yep.
When this bill came up, it came up as a private member's bill. Our research showed that, look, if you don't take it and you go private, getting to the tail end of it, somebody will start shooting it again. So let us do it as a government executive bill.
Shoot it down legally. That's the point you're making, yeah, by taking it to court and challenging it.
Yes, so the pathway is going to change now.
Yeah.
The president didn't say that I've abandoned it. No, he said no. He would make sure that has the president's religion changed? Has the president's faith changed? No. He will make sure that it goes through as an executive bill. The other thing he said was that we should strengthen or tighten our moral education. What to me, is more important, because laws alone, he's a lawyer, he knows that laws alone does not prevent crime or habits. You see what I'm saying?
That's why we have the NCCE.
Yes, laws alone does not change habits.
Yeah.
People know they should not steal, but they steal for many reasons. But there's a law.
Yeah.
But if there is a moral understanding that doing that is not acceptable to the society, the propensity to do that will be lower than the law itself trying to say that. So the president shot two guns. I'm going to make sure the bill comes through as an executive bill, and also NCC and all the other organs now would have to, double up their training. It means that in the pages of our education textbooks and curricula, we are not going to see any semblance of LGBT those things. Because last time my granddaughter was watching a cartoon, and I just decided to sit by her to watch what she was watching. You know what? They have a subtle way of entertaining these young little girls and boys into something interesting. Then all of a sudden they switch to kissing and masturbating and total disregard of the child's age. And little people, young people growing fancy these things. So we think that this subtle aspect of the LGBT should not also be encouraged. That's what the president was saying, that look, we will strengthen that. And I'm not sure that should be interpreted to mean that it's changing his position. Not at all.
Okay. Because
he really confirmed it. Now, Vincent, if you speak and people don't understand you, then it means that you are speaking well. If you speak and people don't understand you, then it means that you use wrong words, or even your body language
or demeanor. Yeah.
You understand? Now, if, for example, the people say we don't like E-levy, and you go ahead and do a E-levy cake. See, you do a E-levy cake. It's like rubbing it on our faces. I don't need to go through the many examples that people talking about as we go along. But Vincent, I want to suggest to you, as an up-and-coming lawyer, that There are two options for you. They coincide. As my nephew, I can give you this advice. Do little politics and more law now. Are you understanding me? Do more law than politics now. The politics of spin, the politics of everything, we must find a fault. See, why is it that the society does not trust politicians? Because we come and sit on air every day. You are corrupt, you are thief, you are corrupt, you are thief. The two of us are always accusing each other. You are a thief, you are corrupt. What are we putting in the minds of the people? Are you getting what I'm saying? We should refine our profession as professionals, as what? Politicians. Spins don't work these days. Okay? Spins don't work these days. We want to find out why the NDC has made this realignment. If you are open-minded, you would want to, and I believe that your post was to elicit discussions, yes, isn't it? But if you had asked the foundations or the fundamental reasons for fixing those ministries, as we are saying, we are realigning, but it appears that there are some that seem to could have been put together. No, because we want to give it emphasis. Something like climate change, going forward, you can't do without it. Innovation and science, you cannot do without it. Again, let me accept that this is a country which belongs to all of us. If going forward, you find something strongly against the alignment, you have a right maybe even to put a memo to the president. To the president, Mr. President, I think for this and the other reasons, this ministry should be rather aligned with that. Then we are making progress as a country. Are you following what I'm saying? Then we are making progress as a country. But if for everything is the NDC MPP ping pong, we forget that there are more non-NDC, more non-MPP people outside looking at us. So, listen, I pray that you will take time to study the reasoning for the alignment of the ministries, as it were. One of the rationales that why we did is that, you see, you are going to, as it were, dislocate some people. And the persons that you are dislocating should not find themselves in too alien an environment so that they can start finding their way out. But I also think that we are paying too much for the administration of this country. For this small country of 33, let's give it 35 million people. Council of State, Judiciary, ministries, this. Put together the cost of administration. One state of India is bigger, you know your people. One state of India, Gujarat alone, is bigger than Ghana in terms of population, in terms of size and whatever. How many ministers do they have? 22. The whole of America, they have 9 Supreme Court judges. Of course, they are federal Supreme Court judges. Yes. Don't let us do things because the state is defenseless. Don't let us do things because Ghana doesn't have it.
I think the reason he's asking for some explanation, first of all, I think he has achieved his aim.
For discussion?
No, he has achieved his aim for provoking this discussion. He put it out there. I have seen it. I have asked, and you are explaining.
The aspect I am speaking about,
yes,
is the fact that there's confusion.
Oh no, I'm just saying. Maybe you're not getting me. I'm just saying that initially you're asking that. Look, if he had taken his time to learn more about why these alignments have been done, maybe he wouldn't have put those questions out.
Yes.
But you can also understand that we are yet to get any thorough explanation from government as to why certain ministries have been created. Do you understand? Fortunately for us, you are a member of the Manifesto Committee, and so you have taken time off to explain why some of these alignments have been done. But then you would realize that at the tail end of your submission, you also said, look, you also don't have a problem if people say, look, this could have also been done much
Not
better.
at all.
You don't have a problem because you want us to make progress as a
But
group.
that is not in a state of confusion.
No, it's not a state of
That's what I'm
confusion at
trying
all.
to
No, I get
emphasize.
that. I get
Yes.
that. I mean, for instance, it would not be out of place for climate to have been added for Minister for Science and Environment, because it's essentially about the environment, really. You know. So then persons who want to know why there have been a split or certain separations and want to know why, so that they can clear the confusion in their minds, I don't think it's out of place.
No. I'm not saying it's out of place.
No, I haven't said that at all.
What I'm saying is that
it's not out of place.
You see, sometimes this small things like there's confusion. The president is there. The president.
Yeah.
You see, even though it's calling for a discussion, the way it is put, can be politically interpreted to, as it were, defeat the intention he had.
Right.
That's why I'm just trying.
I get it. There's a certain sense that you don't know what you're about.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
But we told that certain things like the blue economy, for instance, the climate change and the innovation, technology, and others must be given a pride of place. Right.
Okay.
No, but if I can respond.
Because I want us to make some progress. You have two more.
Just about a minute.
Yeah, please conclude.
See, Uncle Sam, in fact, I was doing law. I was not doing politics. And I'll tell you why. The basis of saying that whatever happened in a previous parliament expires with it if that bill had not been assented to and made law. That basis for me, and per how I understand the laws of this country, is that when, for example, you go through the first reading, the second reading, consideration, third reading, and Parliament exhausts what it is supposed to do, per my understanding of the law, it does not expire with it, because what Parliament is supposed to do has been done. It is left with the assent of the President. So that bill can now be forwarded the way it is supposed to be to the President of the Republic of Ghana and signs it, because Parliament is done with whatever it's supposed to do. The assent does not come from Parliament. The assent comes from the executive arm of government. And that is how come I was disagreeing with the President that if there's that goodwill, if he indeed really wants to make sure that the LGBTQ law or bill is passed and assented to, he will not go that route of saying that it expires with it. Because, well, he is not a lawyer, but I am. But I'm just saying that, per my understanding of the law, that is how it's supposed to be. Because I have perused through the whole Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. Nowhere does it say that it expires with
expiration of a particular.
Nowhere. So it's an issue of interpretation. So I'm just saying that I said so on the basis of law, not politics.
I understand.
That is number one.
I understand you. You see.
Number two.
You see. Why I said we should do more. For example, particularly you.
Right.
Particularly you.
Right.
You see, as a country, we have just come from how many days from elections? We had a situation where the president, the then president, had all the time on earth to have signed that bill. He did not sign.
It's okay. That is why we were voted out.
Yeah.
It's
No,
okay.
wait
No problem.
Wait a minute. And you know also that even if the president is going to assent to the law, the bill as it is now, he has a right to Parliament about his views, isn't it?
True.
He can take the law and say, look, I have this.
Where he agrees or where he disagrees.
Yes.
But you know that process has lapsed.
So
then you're speaking the president's language then?
No,
which is
that process of the president having an opportunity okay, per Article 106 of the 1992 Constitution has elapsed.
So if it lasts, what happens?
So the president, now the bill is in front of the president. Are you getting my point?
Okay, so
I am saying that.
Let's not.
Fortunately, you see, don't let us turn everything
into law.
Law, politics, whatever the case may be. Fortunately, I had Trump, the almighty Trump, who says that for him, what is it? A male is a male, a female is a female, no other thing. You know, the fear that some American money or other money will be forfeited does not exist anymore.
Okay.
So I know the president has this strong belief and faith that Ghana should not go that route.
But I disagree with you. But I think that, trust me, President Mahama cannot do this, cannot sign this bill.
Okay. So
I mean, time will only tell.
All right, that's
but
fine.
To
why do you say he cannot sign?
That's fine.
I'm telling you, but I'm telling you, he will not do it.
We have to go on break.
Yeah, but let me also answer to the green transition. You see, the idea or the reason for me to say or write that thing on my Facebook wall was on the basis that if the president, even though has promised 60 ministers, if he is having an opportunity to do less, why can't he? Or why won't he do?
Why not? Yes.
And so that is why I provoked that conversation.
Right.
For example, look at the ministries of fisheries, aquaculture, and food and agriculture. This is a ministry that, in my estimation, even though you've promised 60 ministries, you can still merge these ministries together. Also, ministries of highways and transport. Yes, you've promised 60 ministries. The executive instrument that the president issued, that they are now going to have about 23 ministers. In my estimation, you could have done about 19. The fact that you have promised 60 doesn't mean you should still do 60 when there is a room for you to do less. And so it was on that basis that I wrote that thing on my Facebook wall.
That's fine. I want us to move on because we have other issues to deal with. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we will find out why the president, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, has refused, or is not refused. To say to refuse may not be that accurate. But why isn't he using the presidential aircraft or the presidential jet, and would rather use a private jet owned by his younger brother, Ibrahim Mahama? We'll take a short break. We'll be right back.
Good business means seeing the possibilities and maximizing opportunities. Making sure you have a responsive support system backs your business goals. A partner that gives you a stable platform with reliable connectivity and seamless solutions, and better understands the tools required to take you to the next level. With so many moving parts in running a business, we do our best to provide you with some stability. The only kind of stability you can find with MTN Business Broadband, the fastest and most reliable internet provider in Ghana, making sure you stay ahead and stay connected, because we understand what makes your business tick.
Sign up today on broadband.mtn.com.gh or call or WhatsApp 0244 308 111.
MTN.
Who are you? Who are you? Charlie, I'll be you from the future. Who doesn't sleep on that slice of bready poor mattress anymore? Don some slippers, then follow me.
It is part of the mattress we did the front there.
Yeah?
That be the mattress where the dead people.
Wait, what are you doing? Wow! No damage at all. Not only durable, but also super comfortable. Come on, try it.
Nothing day like ash foam. Enjoy full body support and unparalleled comfort for a restful sleep.
Don't forget your keys.
Get the premium sleep experience with mattresses from Ashfoam. Visit any of our showrooms nationwide or at ashfoam.com.
Attention all farmers, are you ready to take your crops to the next level? Introducing 3 effective organic composts that will revolutionize your farming practices. ACAP, KCAP and Aerocop brings to you the ultimate solution for your fertilizer needs. Introducing the ACAP Grade A, KCAP Equiafua Jinkwa and the Aerocop with cocoa blends, palm blend and mulch. These are made from locally sourced municipal solid waste, and these are the perfect choice for sustainable farming. Join the organic revolution today. Boost your crop yield, improve soil health, and support sustainable farming practices. Choose ACAP, KCAP, and Aerocop organic compost for a greener and bountiful harvest. For your purchase and more information, call the numbers on your screen. Our products are endorsed by COCOBOD, Planting for Food and Jobs, and the Ministry of Food and Agriculture.
This is Coastal Park, a well-demarcated gated community carved out to host your residential and commercial properties. With a minimum of 40,000 Ghana cedis, you too can own a piece of the serene site.
It's just 50 minutes drive from the Central University College, as well as just some 5 minutes drive from the Ningo Senior High School. More so, just in case you live somewhere in Adam and you want to take that excursion to many of those areas along the Volta estuary, this is the right property for you to invest in.
Great news from Estate Masters Limited. We're running a 10% discount promo on all sites to celebrate our 10th anniversary. Join in the celebration by becoming an Estate Master. Enjoy benefits such as free site visits throughout the duration, free indenture, and free site plan. Contact us for more information. Remember, T's and C's apply. Estate Masters Limited, your most preferred estate partner.
Welcome back. This is Good Morning Ghana on a Metro Television, and thank you for staying with us. We do really appreciate your time. I guess we have about 25 more minutes, or about 20 more minutes to go. So let's try and look at this story, which has been making the rounds. I mean, it came up, sort of died a little bit, and it is reared its head again. And it's about the controversy surrounding the president's use of his younger brother's private jet. In fact, 2 of them. It's called a Bombardier 604. It's a luxury jet, and also there's a white propeller aircraft. And 2 of them, his younger brother Ibrahim has made available to his big brother, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, and that's creating some kind of how do you call it, uneasiness and discomfort, especially from the minority. We've also heard 1 or 2 civil society organizations ask some pertinent questions. So if you look at today's Crusading Guide newspaper, it captures a story about the former Defense Minister, Dominic Tiwu. And he says the former Minister of former Minister of Defense, Dominic Nitiwu, has raised concerns about President John Mahama's decision not to use the presidential flights for official international duties. Mr. Nitiwu confirms that the jet is in good condition and should be utilized, rather than opting for alternatives such as commercial or private flight. In a statement on the floor of Parliament yesterday, Wednesday, January 22, when a communication was read informing the House that President Mahama was traveling to the United Arab Emirates, members of Parliament from the New Patriotic Party questioned the mode of transport the President was using for the trip. The Minister designated for Roads and Highways, Kwame Govins Abuja, clarified that the President had used a commercial flight for this journey. However, and here I'm talking, we're told it's Emirates. He went through an Emirates, he boarded an Emirates flight. So, however, Dominic Nitiwu criticized the situation, calling it offensive that a presidential jet, which is reportedly in good condition, is being ignored. anytime the president jet was not available, the communications squadron jet, of course, that's the unit of the Ghana forces that manages the presidential jet. It's called the communications squadron. So he says that anytime the communications squadron jet was not available, for whatever reasons, the former president always made it private jet and used it. The difference today is that the current jet is serviceable. It can move. It is working. It is wrong for the president of the republic to be going on commercial jets when the jet that Ghana use our money to pay for and buy is available and it's working. This comes at the wake of reactions about the use of the presidential jet, with some questioning why President Mahama sometimes opts to use his brother Ibrahim Ahmed's jet for official international assignments. It's not a new issue. It came up, must have been a week and a half ago, and it's back again. I think that following the president's decision to again board Emirates, the Emirates airline to go to United Arab Emirates. Ambassador Piali, what do you know? From the corridors of power, because you are closer to the corridors of power. What exactly is the reason why the president would use the presidential jet?
I will start by saying the hypocrisy of politics.
Okay.
Is it the hypocrisy of politics?
How do you mean?
Can you get your production team to just screen 2 seconds of Nitiu defending why the former president had to use, private jets?
He said the presidential jet is not comfortable. He said it's not comfortable.
That presidential jet is not comfortable.
Yes.
The same jet which is available.
And sometimes when the president wants to use the washroom and thinks he struggles, it's not comfortable. That's what he said.
The president did some international relations before he was sworn in. I know he went to Gambia and also a few countries he touched.
And Senegal.
Senegal, yeah, sure.
Yes.
And he used his brother's plane. I will not give the details of the security that was incorporated, but nobody is naive to know that the life of the president is a prime concern of every Ghanaian. And if Nitiu had asked the wing that you are talking about, you would have been told how they put themselves into that trip. Would have been told. You have been on Emirates, and many heads of states have joined Emirates.
Fact. That's true.
Many, including the former president Akufo-Addo. So the president had taken over less than 15 days. Prior to his taking over, he has used his brother's jet, albeit with beefed up security. You know that the receiving government who has invited or who the president was going to has a responsibility to ensure the security of the president.
True.
And at the airport, you saw all the security that received him. So the arguments of the president's security being sacrificed because he has used a brother's jet. What is it about Ibrahim that aches the MPP so much? The same Ibrahim Mahama, the silted Odo River for free, and hell broke loose.
Was taken to the cleaners.
Cleaners.
Big time.
He did clean it. Somebody was given $43 million to clean the same project, and you see what it is there. What is it? What is this hypocrisy about? My brother, my nephew is Asifwa. He's been elected as a president. He has to do some quick meetings here and there. No, yes, connection doesn't mean the connections doesn't mean the connection you people do. He has to connect with his previous, colleague presidents. There's nothing illegal about it, unless you are talking about connection
don't mind me, uncle.
as the MPP does. Don't mind me too. So I saw Nitiu. He could not even breathe. in Parliament. He could not even, he was almost getting choked, saying that it is offensive to him. To who? You? We need you. Who are you? You were the same person standing in Parliament, and one of your statements is the reason why the MPP lost. You need you. One of the statements, reason why the MPP lost. You know, we took it and said, "Oh, President will drive with you." That was what we were using to the villagers. Now you, the same person, come and stand and say, "No, it's offensive to you," without even getting a statement from the communication squadron or whatever it is.
Of the Ghana Armed Forces.
Of the Ghana Armed Forces. I was thinking that it was going to be the Ghana Armed Forces even querying that, Mr. President, we can't sacrifice your security. The armed forces cannot raise that because they inputted into those trips. And if you have been on Emirates, as you have been on Emirates, I don't want to reveal their security structure, but on every 3 seats, there's a security. Well-trained international security. That's what the International Civil Aviation Regulations mean. So, in my view, nobody can attack our president unless there's a hijack, or unless an opponent has decided that I will board a plane to go and harm the plane. Nobody can do that. Both on flight and at the Emirates airport, nobody can harm our president. Because you know the Emirates, as soon as the president lands at the airport, 2 minutes is off the airport.
Right.
In a very secured vehicle. So this is much ado about nothing. And as politicians, we should be mindful that the internet does not sleep. Or people don't forget. What we said today is Fantiforce or the Holo channel. Can you see Nitu? The same Nitu who caused the defeat of the MPP by saying that the president needed to bath in the air or whatever, or he said freshen up, and we took it as bathing in the air. Of course, the Ghana is so interested. When we say review, we say cancel.
Of course,
you know, when you say review, say cancel.
But Uncle Zampi, I mean, look, you raised concerns at the time when the NDC kept asking why, as part it was someone
that time the president. Yes. Listen.
Right.
Look, we have passed that era.
No, understand. No, I'm actually
that time.
No.
That time.
You didn't even let me ask my
one
question.
minute.
You have understood me.
That time, the president.
Yes.
Was frequently using those jets.
I get that, but I get it. But the point I'm trying to, but this is my question actually, which is that, from what Niti was saying, yes, whatever concerns or whatever defects was associated with the jet at the time, as far as it's concerned, have been fixed. The jet is now, per his assessment of what he knows, is now comfortable.
If that man had been my defense minister,
yes,
I'll have an apology for him. Because he knows that the last president, the former president, had used the jet the last time before he exited. And for every 25,000 kilometers that jet does, it has to be maintained.
True.
He doesn't know that. He doesn't know that. What is more comfortable in Emirates, that the president will sacrifice the comfort of a private jet of Ghana, coat of arms, colours, and go on an Emirates? What is more comfortable than that?
How do you respond to this? Franklin Kujo has been writing on this, and Franklin Kujo says that, I understand President John Dramani Mahama recently traveled to the Gambia and Senegal on his... Anyway, Franklin, good morning. It's good to hear from you. He says, I understand President John Dramani Mahama recently traveled to the Gambia and Senegal on his brother's private jet. The acting spokesman for the president, Honorable Felix Fosu-Kwache, explains that the visit was at no cost to the taxpayer.
No.
I choose to believe it, given the president's brother is a very generous man and has done some public good in the past with his own money. However, can Honorable Kwache Fosu tell us if the cost of this visit was classified as a gift to the state and declared, given that the president's brother is a private citizen? As you are aware, not long ago, a finance minister under the recently overwhelmingly retired MPP government told us he was not receiving salary. We believed him, and look where it ended us, a debt iceberg. pickpocketing measly savings of innocent and defenseless citizens in the name of debt exchange and a coup de grace, junk-rated economy.
Well, at the time that he went to Gambia and Senegal, he had not been sworn in as the president, right? And you know that,
right?
So I understand my friend Franklin, that some classification would have been made, but at that time he was a quasi-private person.
Okay,
you understand?
All right.
So, you know,
that's fine.
We have time to talk about too many things, but
No
I am appalled about the position of
Dominic Nitu.
If it was as if we're talking about it, then I thought that he was talking it out for public good.
Okay.
But not from Nitu.
All right.
And you could not even breathe.
Do you agree or disagree with public Nitu that the president has no reason justified
and it's offensive to him
to not use the presidential jet? Because as far as it's concerned, it's in a pristine shape. It's good to go.
Well, yesterday, I was on the floor of Parliament when the Speaker of Parliament, well, the one who was sitting as the Speaker, Honorable Esiama, read a communication from the President. You know, as part of our proceedings, anytime that we sit, when we are done with our votes and proceedings, per the order paper, if there is any communication or whatsoever from the presidency, then the Speaker of Parliament will take his time and go through that communication to us. It was at that time when the Honorable Speaker sitting at the time communicated to the House that His Excellency the President had traveled outside the country or was traveling outside the country and was informing the House that Professor Jane Nana will now be acting in the stead as per
the requirements of the Constitution
of the Republic of Ghana. It was around that time that this conversation generated. Now, when you listen to both sides, and maybe if I will have to start with what Dominic Nitu mentioned, you could clearly see that he just wanted to establish the inconsistency as far as the actions of the presidency is concerned. I'll tell you why. The Honorable Nitiwu's concern was that there is a helicopter that is for the state and the private jet. The president, through his office, is asking for more security details. People working with the presidential jet, people who services it. I mean, a detailed report from the SWA government, if you like, the military persons. Now, on what basis do you use the presidential jet? Because you want certain information from the same people also managing the helicopter, because he has used the helicopter internally. So the Honorable Nitu wanted to bring out the inconsistency as far as the position of the president was concerned. Two, the Honorable Nitu was also of the opinion that the information that you are asking for, one way or the other, has already been provided in the handing over notes. He being the Minister of Defense, the information that they are asking for, most of which had already been provided for in the handing over note. So whatever information that you are asking for is already with you. And some of these questions were asked during the transition period, which he provided answers to. So he does not believe that indeed that is the reason why the President of the Republic is not using the presidential jet. If it is about issues of security, why then is he now using the helicopter? Or why then did he use the helicopter internally? Because these two aircraft are being hosted by the military. And so this was what the Honorable Nitu wanted to portray. Under no circumstance that the Honorable Nitu and the minority had a problem. And that was how come we made sure that Parliament was at a standstill. The Speaker of Parliament had to suspend the House for about 30 minutes. Because at the time, the majority side wanted to portray that we had a problem with the president traveling on Emirates. No, we do not. In fact, the Honorable Nitiwu even had the occasion to say that there have been times that the ex-president, that is Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, had traveled on BA because at the time he felt that it was right to do so. So there's nothing wrong if President Mahama wants to travel on Emirates. But the big question is, if you give an occasion to the Ghanaian public that one, the aircraft is not serviceable, and two, because you want to be sure of the security detail around the aircraft, the inconsistency was pointed to the majority that cannot be the case because you're already using the helicopter. Now,
you know it for a fact.
No, he used it when he was going to, I think, was it the north? He went to, I don't know whether it was Upper East, I think Boko. Yes, I think Boko. Right. He used it when he was going to Boko.
That's fine. But if we're going to proceed on this statement you just made,
right,
that the president has used a helicopter,
right,
doesn't then that tell you that the president in principle doesn't have a problem using any state facility once it is airworthy?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm telling you.
Did you get the point I'm making?
Yeah, I get the point.
So if he has a challenge with using the aircraft,
yes,
that in itself should tell you that he's not using the presidential jet because he's not been cleared to use it.
It does not lie in the mouth of the president to say that the presidential jet is not airworthy. It lies in the mouth of those who are in charge of the aircraft, to say that it is airworthy. The president is not a technical person.
But it is also possible for them to have, I'm not them saying, but I'm just saying that what will be wrong?
Right.
Remember, Felix Ofusu-Kwakye is a minister of state in charge of government communication.
He's not. He's not. He's just the acting spokesperson. He has just been.
No problem. Yeah. Okay. Acting spokesperson.
Yes.
I'm saying that. You're saying that Felix Ofusu-Kwakye could have come out,
yes,
to say the things he said,
right,
without recourse to exactly what the position of the.
No, I listened to Felix when Felix said that the reason why. I listened to Felix. Felix made the point on TV that His Excellency the President is not using the aircraft because his office, through Felix, has asked for the security detail around the presidential jet.
Right.
In the absence of that, they are not going to use the jet. And I'm suggesting to you that the person or the people that you are asking for such an information from them are the same people also managing the helicopter. These two, or if you like, these two aircraft are airworthy. They are serviceable. So why do you choose to use the helicopter and decide not to use the presidential jet?
And I'm also saying to you that, let's even say, granted, that Felix has asked, or here I'm not going to say, it's not a Felix thing.
Right.
The government says, we want to know what the operational, the operational capacity of these machines we're talking about is, right? That's fine. Now, I'm saying that if the president is now using the helicopter for some of his trips, doesn't that tell you that he is comfortable using the helicopter, which is also state-owned, because it is ready, it is airworthy. The safety, the safety and the security checks have been done.
Who says, or it is smart to say that it is?
No, I'm saying that. But the president will use the helicopter. If he's not been cleared to use the helicopter.
So who told him or who cleared it for him?
The same unit.
And I'm telling you that the same unit says that the presidential jet is also airworthy. It's serviceable.
Oh, you mean per the handing over notes that was given?
Yes, and even at the transition team, that is what Nitiwu sought to say on the floor of Parliament.
I get it now. So at what point did the communications squadron change their mind?
Yes.
Or change their position about the airworthiness of the
And you see,
of the
Honorable Sam
aircraft
was talking about the fact that when the aircraft moves every 25,000 kilometers, it's supposed to be serviced.
It's supposed to be grounded and serviced, yes.
What I know is that any time that it moves for about 25 hours, you need to service it, or you need to, as it were, maintain it. The last trip that His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo embarked on, if you do the calculation, even with the conservative hour of about 13 hours, that His Excellency the President used the presidential jet. So, in my estimation, it has not even reached the 25-hour threshold that it will need.
Do you know this for a fact?
No, I'm just saying that, 25 hours is what is needed for the flight
the threshold
to be maintained.
Yes.
So if they want to use that reason for saying that the flight was used more than 25 hours, for that matter, they cannot use the aircraft. I'm also suggesting to you that the president used the aircraft for about 13 hours cumulatively.
And I'm asking whether you know this for a fact.
That's what I'm telling. That is what I've been told.
Okay.
When I did my investigation.
Okay.
So I'm just saying that that cannot be enough.
Okay.
The truth is that we should be asking the rationale
okay.
behind the president's penchant of using his brother's aircraft.
Okay.
He is now the president of the Republic of Ghana.
Okay.
Security.
But there's the reason. There's the explanation that it's not costing the taxpayer a dime. Doesn't that assuage your feelings?
Two things. Franklin Kujo mentioned to you what our laws, our tax laws are.
Yeah. If it's a gift, it must be declared.
It must be declared, and taxes will have to be
That's
paid on that.
Okay, unfortunately, our time is up. But we would like to have you some other time. Sorry about that. Vincent, I'm actually enjoying Vincent's submission on this matter. But Vincent, unfortunately, our time is up. Yeah.
Assumptions.
No, he said he's been told as a matter of fact. He's done 13 hours.
No, I checked from the Ministry of Defense.
Okay, all right.
No, I
we
checked
wrote,
from the Ministry of
see,
Defense.
apart from the handing over,
yes,
which is a general document.
Okay.
We wrote specifically about the health of the aircraft.
Yes.
I'll forward it to you.
Okay.
And the squadron responded that it had done its last trip.
Okay.
And they needed to service it.
Okay. All right. See,
that is
that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Anyway, Uncle Sam, thank you.
A man who uses the helicopter.
Yes.
If the other one was.
Yeah, but that's the same question I asked.
Yes,
why
if
would you use
the other one was held in.
Yeah,
yes,
why would
that's
you use
it.
it?
Why wouldn't he use it?
Yes, I asked the same question. Uncle Sam Piyali, thank you so very much. He's the president of the NDC Professional Forum, and also Vincent Eko Asefua is a member of Parliament for Otafo and also a former Deputy Minister of Local Government Decentralization. No, that's not yet. You are going to be a regular on Thursdays. We can always take it from there. Rural development. Anyway, Thank you very much for watching another edition of Good Morning Ghana. I hope you enjoyed it. Same time tomorrow, we'll be here, inshallah, God willing. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Because no president can shower in this aircraft.
What premium shall we place on our health? Is it to wait and get hit with a condition? Or on a daily basis, how do we check the body before health slips away? Living Well is the lifestyle series that will help you